This is AI with Attitude, presented by Mike Pina of AI Rocket Ship. This is where real talk happens. Today, we're breaking down viral AI-generated misinformation and how marketers in the FIRT are using AI to tell brand stories built on misleading information. So let's not panic. Facts are usually quite sobering. And yes, it's uncomfortable, but that usually means it's worth discussing. Shall we begin?
This is Mike with AI Rocket Ship. Today is Thursday, December 18th, and this is AI with Attitude. So, hear out my audio rant. This morning started like most mornings. Full blast Cuban coffee, 2 sugars, organic milk, because we come a long way from red cap milk, or what my cousin lovingly calls budget hormone-filled milk. Those days are gone, and I'm grateful for that progress. So, I'm halfway into making my eggs, debating which oil I'm about to use. I've got Iron Maiden blasting through my headset, just trying to get into, my creative flow before the emails hijack my day, right? And then bam, mandatory YouTube ad. Now, apparently, the canola oil I've been using is killing me, or at least it's not good enough. And the more that I listen, the worse that it gets, because apparently the US food system has been betraying us, because canola oil is the villain and salvation is just one click away. So what's the solution? I need to find out my polyphenol code. Now, at this point, I can't even remember my Netflix password, but I'm sure I'll definitely know my polyphenol code. No worries though. A company called Agura Health Products, based in California, has me covered. In fact, they use the face of a real board-certified physician, Dr. Gundry, MD. Now that warm, knowledgeable face tells me everything I need to know. Trust is achieved. Critical thinking has been paused. And guess what? My credit card is within reach. But the problem isn't that the doctors are selling the products. The problem is the way the marketing is being done and how AI tools are disrupting that. So I went down the rabbit hole, all right? Did a bit of a deep dive with my AI tools. And I found out, okay, so yes, Agura Health Products is a real company based in California. They use a real MD to market their products. And yes, there are multiple consumer complaints and allegations about misleading advertising. Here's my issue though. My problem isn't that a doctor is selling products. In fact, Ken Jeong is a real licensed physician and he made a career out of comedy. You remember the guy from Hangover. He's amazing. I'm not here to hate on anyone's hustle. And honestly, I wouldn't be surprised living in South Florida if physicians take second jobs, because you got to think about reimbursement rates, the stress, the divorce rates, the burnout, the overwhelming population that doesn't take care of itself. I get that. But let's not pretend that discovering your polyphenol code is going to reverse all the damage done from generations of poor eating habits, emotional eating from broken households, structural failures of the US healthcare system. That's not evidence-based health. That's evidence-styled marketing. And now AI makes it easier, faster, and louder. Let's be real. Marketers have always been full of shit. And here's the part that I'm actually ranting about. Marketers have always been full of shit. I know this because I work in marketing, and our job is literally to make things seem better than they are, sometimes even if they're the Temu version of the real thing. The difference? I'm self-employed. I get to choose my clients. I don't like lying. Plenty of people do not have that luxury, and now AI tools make it dirt cheap to create authority, fabricate certainty, manufacture urgency. They borrow trust from credentials and use this to tell brand stories. So here I am just trying to eat breakfast, listen to music, get into creative rhythm, and it's no surprise that YouTube is going to interrupt me. TikTok is going to assault me. I've got AI-generated brand stories doing a terrible job pretending they're actually educational, because that is the new format, by the way. You tell an educational perspective using AI tools, using stuff that looks real or seems pretty close to a real thing, and convince your audience to the next move, which is that call to action and the conversion, getting them to buy something. Remove that friction of mistrust, get them to trust you. Here's what it comes down to: evidence-based health versus evidence-based marketing. Evidence-based health is going to be slow. Yes, it may be boring. There may be nuances. There may be uncertainty. There's going to be changes as the data evolves. I mean, we're still learning things today that we should have been doing differently years ago. Who knew that, women smoking cigarettes would be a bad thing? Well, we didn't know that for years, but yet it was completely fine. 1940s and 50s. So think about that. It takes time. Evidence-based marketing is a different thing. You can cherry pick your data. You can weaponize your authority. You can simplify complexity into things like little codes, hacks, or secrets, or did you know? And all of a sudden, you're the inside guy. You know things that no one else knows. And you can even use AI to sound confident, not correct. That's my challenge there. Consumers, let's get it straight. Let's be real again. Consumers are not stupid, but they are tired. They are overwhelmed. Yes, they are very distracted. Marketers keep confusing attention with trust. Now, when it comes to the AI industry, I've already called out one example of what I ran into, and we can go deep into this. You're going to see ads online. You're going to see them on LinkedIn, YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, X. You're going to see them even on TV. I mean, how many of you listening to this right now back in the 90s bought an Abdur, that machine or whatever that invention was that failed to help you build abs? Look, you want to build abs? Like a buddy of mine in healthcare told me a long time ago, abs are built in the kitchen, okay? Not in the gym. Starts with what you put in your body. But regarding false claims, think about products that promote longevity, anti-aging clinics that reverse your aging, crypto and AI trading platforms guaranteed to give you returns, online education and certification mills. Become an expert in 30 days. Learn 20 years of marketing in 30 days. Heck, if I knew that, I would have done it. If this was easy, everybody could do it. It's not easy to find clients. It may be easy to build a list, but you still have to sell. You still have to get them to purchase. And as far as I'm concerned, you've only made progress once the money's in the account. You see? What else? Mental health apps and coaching programs. This is dangerous territory, especially if you're relinquishing authority to AI. With all the challenges that people have with mental health, we cannot yet trust an AI tool to give them proper advice for negotiating all of life's hurdles. Think of bereavement. Think of issues with medication, the things going on in the world. It's a lot going on. What about passive income gurus? Self-generated success stories. LinkedIn, you are one of the worst offenders. I'm going to call you out. Individuals on here who claim they've made 500,000 here, $1 million here, saved all this for these companies. You have no evidence, okay? I wish I had a bullhorn. You have no evidence. You still live at home with your mom and drive a Honda. And there's no problem with Honda. I love Honda. I'm just saying, stop misleading people. And you're using AI to do it, which is worse, because you make real practitioners like us look very bad. And don't even get me started on these functional lab testing gyms and services out here, even in South Florida, that yes, they may tell you how your body's doing, but here we go. They are not doctors, okay? They do not have a license to write you a script. They cannot do surgery on you. They're just here to tell you the same shit that you've been knowing for a long time, that you're unhealthy, you're fat, you eat horrible, you have genetic issues that you cannot control, like high cholesterol. And yes, you got to go to the gym and burn. I got it. Eat better. However, I can do that without paying $150 a month. If anything, take that money and go buy healthy food. So, just a couple of thoughts. AI here is not the enemy. It's the lazy ethics behind it. If marketers don't start respecting the difference between education and persuasion, consumers are eventually going to stop listening. And you're going to have a flood of information like we're already seeing out there. It's overwhelming. But you know who I especially feel bad for? Are those that are most vulnerable, especially the older population. Folks like my mom, or if you have grandparents that cannot really tell the difference of real versus AI generated, and they may think that something is real, whether it's medically motivated, politically motivated, anything. So it's about being accountable. I think this is an area when it comes to ethical AI that we have a lot of work to do on as not only a community, but as a country and overall as a humanity to stop lying to people and use the tools that we have to, yes, democratize AI, but also to be responsible with it. I'm all for democratizing AI. I don't mind, explaining an AI tool or seeing people who are not used to using the AI tools to tell brand stories. But I get a little concerned when you put it in the hands of an irresponsible person, or worse, a company that is going to lie about a product or mislead consumers, because the end result is always the same. The customer is the one that gets hurt, while the CEO is the one that walks away with a pocket full of cash. This is Mike with AI Rocket Ship. Let me know your comments on what you thought about this. Have a wonderful day.